Ma'anoima u'ma'nedaber. My friends, what is there to say? What has become of our world? The emergency Hatzolah medic who arrived at the Fogel home last Friday night said that the scene was surreal. There was blood and bodies everywhere, while the CPR doctors were desperately trying to save 4-year-old Elad's life. The smell of Shabbos food still cooking permeated the air. Imagine, my friends, what it was like. Just a few hours earlier, the Fogel family sat around the Shabbos table singing the traditional Friday night Zmiros in praise of a Jewish mother, Eishes Chayil Mi Yimtzo, words that include Komu Boneo Vayashruo, her children arise and praise her. But now there would be no more parents to praise, and half of the Fogel family children are gone forever. Who can be so cruel, void of the most elementary traces of human decency? Who can perpetrate such an evil act, to violate what it says in the Torah? If you come upon a bird's nest with young birds, don't allow the mother bird to watch when you take away her children. It's exactly what those murderers did to Ehud and Ruth Fogel. They wanted them to know that they intend to kill their children in front of them. Here we are on Purim, the last hour of the Tainus Esther. Purim came about because of one simple act. Otherwise, we wouldn't be celebrating Purim. B'chol avdei HaMelech, koirim u'mishtachvin l'Haman. All of Achashverosh's servants bowed to him, Kitziva lo HaMelech, because this was the way the king instructed everyone to bow down to Haman. Mordechai lo yichye v'lo yishtachveh. But Mordechai refused to prostrate himself nor bow. But why didn't Mordechai bow down? He would avoid all the trials and tribulations that would later be cast upon the Jewish people in Persia. The answer is, my friends, that Mordechai knew that when he looked at Haman, he was looking at evil incarnate, a man without a conscience, to whom human life means nothing, a man who you could not reason with. He was the same Haman who advised the king Achashverosh to humiliate his wife Vashti and force her to appear before all the nobles of the realm naked, even though the king was sitting on his throne only because of Vashti. He was a nobody, the king. And when she refused to appear, Haman advised that she should be killed immediately, just as he convinced the king to issue the genocide proclamation. Lahashmid, ulaharoi, ulave, deskol Yehudim, kill out all the Jews, mina v'adzokein, taf v'noshim, b'yom echad, men, women, and children in one day. Why did he have to say in one day? Why not 2 days? So that the parents should have the additional pain to know that their children would die with them. just like the murderers of the Fogel family on Friday night. This is the new plague of our generation. Jihadists who revere death over life, who convince their followers that the gates of heaven open wider if you murder somebody or you maim somebody. But there are so many co-conspirators culpable in the murder of the Fogel family, including the religious leaders who taught them, who inspired them, and who therefore sent them. People who issue fatwas, like Yusuf el-Qaradawi, he said of the Zionists, meaning 90% of world Jews. He said of the Zionists, quote, "Do not spare a single one of them." My friends, during the Shoah, Joseph Goebbels and Julius Streicher never killed anybody themselves, but they poisoned the minds of tens of millions of Nazis, Yimach Shemom v'Zichrom, which is why they were named at Nuremberg as major war criminals. It is not enough to condemn such a crime. Everybody can gather and we say it's horrible. We have to do what Mordechai did. You have to take your condemnation, El Shar HaMelech, to the gates of the king. We need to stand in front of the General Assembly Hall of the United Nations and have an ambassador finally stand up and say, I rise here today to condemn this horrible murder perpetrated against the Fogel family and their young infant children, and against the state of Israel by Islamic terrorists. And I demand that for the first time in the history of the United Nations, you, the United Nations, should go on record as having condemned this act the way you've condemned so many other things against the state of Israel when they didn't deserve it. Some say that these jihadists feel left out. They're just acting up on their grievances. My friends, every human being has grievances and gripes. Life is often not fair. But if there was anyone who should feel left out in world history, it should be the Jewish people, particularly the generation of the Holocaust survivors who saw in front of their eyes their parents, their grandparents, their brothers and sisters gassed in the Nazi concentration camps. But did you ever see any families of the survivors who saw that, who felt that pain, go out on a Friday night and slit the throats of any children anywhere in the world? Now, why is that? Instead, my friends, these survivors who had lots of grievances against the world, who faced an uncertain future, picked themselves up by the bootstraps, taught themselves how to see the good in life again, how to smile even if it hurts, how to love again even when love was taken from them. My friends, when the Jewish people give out sweets and candy, it's to celebrate life, not to glorify and dance over the death of a Jewish family. To the Fogel children, to the city of Itamar, we pray that the Rabbeinu Shalom should give you the strength to go on with your lives, to live as strong and as committed Jews as your parents live, to know that all of Klal Yisrael stands with you in your moment of agony. And may you be the recipient of all the brachas that Klal Yisrael is sending you in this moment. And to the murderers we say, we've met you many times in our history, during the pogroms, during the Inquisition, during the Holocaust. There's one thing we would like to assure you, that the Jewish people will still be here singing Shoishanas Yankov Tzoholo V'Samecha and Purim after you and your kind have been deposited in the dustbins of history. And in spite of you, we will all be zoicha to see Rei B'tuv Yerushalayim Kol Yemei Chayecha, the full glory and the full splendor of Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh.